Okay, hi you guys. Oh my goodness, I am so thrilled to share with you what's been happening in our spring garden. As you know, I am Donna, aka Makeda, of Makeda Home and Garden, and I really wanted to share with you guys, especially if you're new here, actually why I have a garden channel and what is this all for. So I thought the perfect thing to do would be to share our spring garden with you. So you come on in, let's go, let's go, let's go. My favorite part of the garden is this incredible, used to be, greenhouse. And now for the past 3 years, I've been using it as a tomato cage, as well as a trellis for my grapevine. I just love it. On the outside of this trellis, what I like to do is create paths of food so that once my grandbaby's old enough, she's got things that she can grab, but I place a sweet potato slip in this planter. And then I also have my lemongrass going on the outside. So as I'm using this, I have food that I'm coming by that I can harvest. This planter will be full of sweet potatoes. Now, as for our trellis, oh my goodness, I am able to grow so many freaking grapes, you guys, and tomatoes at the same time. And if you look closely, this grapevine that I have in here is at least about 2 years old, about 3 years old. Well, it's about 3 years old, and now it's just giving me grapes. And there are grapes pretty much everywhere. Everywhere. And so my family, what I'm going to do, the reason I really had to do, especially here, this one is freaking crazy. But the reason I have to share this with you guys now, especially this trellis, is because it is about to be covered with fabric, with cloth that protects these grapes so that they continue to grow and the birds cannot take them all. I'm growing my tomatoes in here, and I have beefsteak tomatoes to the right, and then I have to the left that are growing, and then I have seedlings to the right of different tomato mixes. So as the seedlings come up and mature, then I'm able to place them in the ground. Once the tomatoes start growing and get higher, as you see where there's cords, I'm able to strap them to this greenhouse, growing them vertically, giving them support. I get some of the juiciest, yummiest tomatoes, and they go all season long because this little shade also helps for the sun not to parch those tomatoes. So you guys come on. And I also planted some flowers in here for a little interest. So we've got some glads that will just explode with color and give me some peace and calm when I walk into the garden. So let's go. Oh my goodness, you guys. Now this bed is one of my most mature beds, and you can really tell by the soil. This is soil that we have grown. And I went to garden school with Truly Living Well, and Brother Ross Kofi was my teacher. And he taught us the importance of growing your own soil and being sustainable with that. And if your soil is healthy, he taught us that if your soil is healthy, that will help reduce any pests or bugs. So with this bed, I absolutely love to grow my carrots because the carrots just grow straight down, and I get some of the most perfect carrots. And then I have Swiss chard in the back, and I also have lettuce in the back. But because of our because of our tomato trellis and our grapevine trellis, we get a little bit of shade here. So I'm able to grow some yummy green lettuce. Oh my gosh, you guys. I am so excited to be near this part of our bed because this is what? My medicine. This bed is right next to my amazing bed that's been here for a while. This has been here for a while too, but it's where I grow my herbs. It's one of the cool things about gardening. You learn to submit to the garden space. This is God's domain. So you learn to submit to that. Well, with this oregano, it sprouted up, and this is the second year that it keeps doing this. And I'm like, what are we saying here? And I'm realizing that a lot of these plants talk to you and tell you what they can help you with and what they need. So this year, what we're going to do with this oregano, instead of letting it bother me, I've been chopping it up, and I found out the medicinal properties of oregano. It is anti-inflammatory. It is antifungal. It is incredible for your mind, your body, if you have scrapes, bruises, and scars. So what I'm going to do is extract the oregano oil out of the oregano, either through a tincture or either through creating some sort of poultice so that I can use it on my skin. I deal with psoriasis in certain places, and it is going to be healing for that. So when you are gardening, just remember, if there's certain plants that stick out and make themselves known to you, find out and see if there's medicinal properties to it. It may be trying to tell you something that can be advantageous. Well, soon I will be yielding the oregano, and then I'm going to plant a few things in here like nasturtiums, thyme, other herbs. After all of this is yielded, I'll have enough for the next 2 years, so I can just let it start fresh for next year. I also have some incredible lavender growing in our garden. You guys, each and every one of these flowers have medicine in them. And that fragrance and all of that is medicine for your body. It calms you. Lavender is a nervine, so it calms your body. It's great for sleep. You can create, my son used to take melatonin. No more does he have to take melatonin, because we create an amazing tea with this lavender, and it heals us. I wish you guys could smell it, smell it, smell it, smell it. Okay, and then in this bed, instead of growing it inside of the bed, because it always tries to take over, mint has pretty much landed at the foothills of all of my beds. So this again was another plant that took over. If you are planting mint in your garden, put it in a container. Then that way it won't take over your garden. It has decided to take over my garden. But what I realized and found out about the medicinal properties of mint, it too is a nervine, and mint calms you, relaxes you. It's great for anxiety. It's so great to stimulate you in the morning with a yummy cup of mint tea. And also, it is freaking incredible for your gut. So if you find out that you're having to take antacids after every meal, try a cup of mint tea. It will change your life. Now, on to the next thing. Hey, you guys, this is one of my favorite flowers. Again, I like to grow flowers everywhere. And so I have these beautiful lilies that will spring up beautiful blooms. Literally, each one of these plants will give me at least 6 or 7 blooms of lilies on the top. And if you look really closely, they're almost here. Okay, you guys, this next bed is actually probably my first bed that I've ever created, and it's kind of considered my in-ground garden, but I put wood on the side so it can help with soil erosion. But anyway, we are growing potatoes. I've got some regular Idaho potatoes here. I've got some incredible purple potatoes here, and then I also have some incredible Japanese potatoes here, Japanese sweet potatoes. And then here I've planted some garlic in the middle. But what's really cool is this entire bed used to be my bed of brassicas. And now since I've transitioned and I've pulled all the brassicas out, but the onions and garlic are still there, so I can harvest them later on in the season. Over here now, oh my God, I'm so excited. We got our first zucchini flower. And I actually use zucchini flowers and cook them and stuff them with yummy foods and fry them up. So I'm not only excited about the zucchinis that's gonna come, I'm even more excited about the zucchini flowers for those yummy snacks that I get to make. You're just smiling, girl. You got me tripping. Broccoli heads. Okay. Now, a lot of times when I'm planting these vegetables, I'm being intentional in my vibe. I'm being intentional in my feelings. I'm being intentional in my confessions over these vegetables. Heavenly Father, I thank you for giving me the ability to grow these vegetables for my family. These tomatoes are going to be so yummy, so ripe, and so perfect this summer, full of nutrition and yummy goodness for my family. Oh my gosh, you guys, now you got to see my most productive bed. Okay, so this bed is my kale bed. Every other year, I grow kale in this bed. And it doesn't look so sexy right now because it's springtime. The sun is making it start to bolt. It's starting to flower on some of the kale. And so it's signaling I'm done with growing kale. Now it's time to grow the seeds. Well, I will be yielding this bed and creating a whole new bed of veggies in the next week. But this week, what am I going to do? Keep harvesting kale. I planted this kale in August of 2023. It is now what, May of 2024. And yes, my family is still eating this yummy organic kale. Literally a $2 purchase of kale seeds. You hear what I'm saying? A $2 purchase of kale seeds has yielded kale, fresh organic kale for my family since August of 2023. You guys, it is really, really serious. But I will grow it for another week, and then after that, I'm gonna harvest it up, plant some really yummy vegetables in here. Now, one vegetable that I already have in here is a purple artichoke. I planted the seed in the ground, and this is my second year growing artichoke, and it gives me some of the most beautiful artichoke globes. I can either eat the inside of them to have the artichoke hearts and salads and all of that, or I can just let it bloom, and it creates the most beautiful purple thistles on the flowers. And this bed also has onion and garlic in it as well. It has protected this kale all season long, as you see, and we'll leave all that in here when we pull the kale up and plant more veggies. The other thing that is in this bed that I absolutely is a must-have for me are gladiolas. I have them throughout my entire garden. So everywhere you see these long, thin strings of grass, that will be gladiolas that will be up in a matter of weeks. And it will give me beautiful color throughout the whole garden. Right above my kale bed, I have a planter. And in this planter, most of my planters, I plant sweet potatoes so that they can fill the planter full of yummy sweet potatoes, but also spill out the side, creating a beautiful design aesthetic, giving you a calm flow when you walk in the dark garden, and it literally creates a skirt of greenery. And when the sweet potato grows, not only can you eat the sweet potato, oh my gosh, you can eat the leaves too. They are incredible for inflammation, and they have a lot of vitamin C. I also planted in this planter strawberries all at the front. So you'll see my strawberries are coming up, the seedlings are coming up, and they should give me yummy strawberries spilling out this planter. And this year, what I did was put in some yummy grape tomatoes. So on this side and this side, so they're gonna trellis up here, and I'll have really small tomatoes coming down. Now, the Pierre de Resistance. This is my blueberry bush. Now, I have two blueberry bushes here. One is kind of died down, but baby, this year, this is the 4th year, and this blueberry bush is brimming with the blueberries. Hello. So closely, you'll see where we start here, and they're very small after the flower falls off. And then if you come on over, you'll see how they start to get bigger. And then the purple shade is actually even starting now. But over a period of time, I have literally at least 1,000 blueberries. Now, the cool thing about that for me and my family is we have smoothies mostly every morning. And we do use blueberries. Blueberries are freaking incredible for your health. They're not only yummy, but the medicinal property in blueberries is, you know, like your veins in your body. Well, what it does is strengthens the lining of your veins. So if you have a problem with hemorrhoids, if you have a problem with fissures, if you have a problem with your blood pressure and stuff like that, well, those yummy blue vegetables, or blueberries to be exact, help strengthen the lining of those veins. Therefore, you have less inflammation in those areas. So I am so thrilled. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to cover this bad boy right back up. Baby, yes. Oh, I cannot wait. This is where my asparagus grows. and it grows here. So any day now I will have asparagus shooting up. It is a perennial, so asparagus multiplies. So every year I just have stalks of asparagus growing up here, and I cannot wait. This planter has our peppers in them. I started these peppers as seedlings, so they're still a little small, but they have adapted well to transitioning to the beds. And I added a little mulch over the top just to give them a little extra protection. I felt like the corner of my garden space really needed some corn. First of all, my family and I love popcorn, first and foremost, and we don't eat a lot of corn, but when we do eat it, I love to actually grow it myself. So I just created this little makeshift planter, and I planted my corn seedlings, my corn seeds in, and I've only done that, it's only been about 4 days, so it should be coming up shortly. I'm so freaking excited about that. Now, if you come with me over here, here is our baby who holds us down, Chica. Chica, where you at? Chica, where you at, mama? Here she comes. Can you see her? She's got watermelon and good stuff in there. But anyway, Chica is our resident chicken. She is 10 years old, and she's still giving us eggs. So in this bed, but she protects the garden. And what's really cool, if you have a garden or you plan to have a garden, I suggest that you have a chicken, because the chicken helps it keeps life in your garden even when you're not there. So any critters that want to come up in your garden at night or whatever, when they feel the presence of your chicken, they pretty much stay at bay. So it's really a good addition, and they also give you yummy good eggs. So if you eat eggs, your family's gonna love it. I don't really eat eggs, but guess what? My neighbors and family love the eggs, period. Now, what I really love to do, again, is plant food everywhere. And I also love to plant fans in the garden. I'm just kidding. Okay, but I also love to plant medicine everywhere. And when I discover medicine, then I also like to keep it there and enhance its growth so my family's able to use it. Well, this past year, as you know, if you've been on my channel, I discovered the wild purple wild violet flower. And when I tell you, my mind was blown learning about all the medicinal properties of this incredible flower and this plant. It's just incredible. But anyway, so I decided, I dropped a few chunks of it in front of my chicken's coop. So she's got something to snack on, and it can help her be healthy as well. This plant gives you, the flower and the plant combined in a tea gives you a feeling of bliss. It's incredible for your lungs. It's incredible for your respiratory. It's incredible for calming you down. And so that is there. But here is a bed. I am from North Carolina. My grandmother and my grandmother on both sides and grandfathers on both sides grew vegetables. And most of their gardens, they weren't doing raised beds, they were doing in-ground. So I always like to have some in-ground action going on. So in this bed, what I did was planted, this is where I've landed a lot of onions, a lot of broccoli. So I've got garlic over here and onions over here. And then I've also got some kale. Now this kale is here on the side of this planter, because believe it or not, I planted some kale here, a few more onions, and spinach on the right. And the reason I did it here is because, as you see, I get a shadow here. It gives me a chance to grow the vegetables that love the shade year long. This planter is such a help. Now, inside of these freaking incredible planters is where I usually grow my green beans. It's where I trellis so much. I've opted right now to keep the top part of our trellis off while I'm working on the veggies that are growing underneath. So in these two planters, what I have planted, I have chickpeas throughout the whole planter. Therefore, so the base of both of these planters have chickpeas growing. And what is great about it is I can not only just wait till it grows up and eat the chickpeas, but I also can do one side to harvest the microgreens. So when we're having salads, we can add yummy microgreens from chickpeas in our salads, just giving us a little more diversity in our salads. Now, on the inner edge of these planters along here, I'm growing Japanese green beans, the kinds that are really, really long. They grow like a foot long. And I'm growing those so they can trellis over. Once I put my trellis on the top, they will canopy. And then when I will have all my green beans growing down. I do it every year. Go back and look at some of our older videos and you'll be able to see what actually happens in the summertime whenever I add the trellis for them to grow. I also have planted sweet potatoes in this planter and this planter. What that is doing is on the top, well, where I've got things growing over and I've got things growing up and trellising, at the same time, the magic is happening under the soil. Why wouldn't I plant something to grow over top since the sweet potatoes grow underneath? So this way, this trellis and these planters give me the ability to grow a tremendous amount in a small amount of space. So what I did is I'm trying something new this season. My family loves potatoes, but in healing our bodies, I'm learning that a lot of the things that we eat in this Western diet is not necessarily the best for us. So I'm gonna lighten up on the potatoes, but I found these incredible Hebrew artichokes, and they are more of an indigenous potato. It's not real sexy and not real cute when you see the potato, but baby, that Hebrew artichoke is incredible because it does not have all the starch that most potatoes have, therefore having less sugars, therefore being better for our bodies. So I cannot wait to share with you guys some recipe with these Hebrew artichokes. Now, this, I love this, my favorite side. Okay, you guys, this is one of my favorite pieces in the garden. This is our TP trellis. I was able to build this out of basic wood that I found, but I always grow my cucumbers there. So I just recently cleared this out. As you see, I have more of this incredible wild violet flower. And so I leave the leaves all season long. So if I ever have to come out and pull some leaves, I actually still have the medicine. But I also left them in here because they'll just stay all season long. And then I planted the seeds of all of my cucumbers around. So the cucumbers will trellis up and we'll have yummy cucumbers all season long. This season, I planted an English cucumber, which is very thin and a thinner skin. And then I also planted a pickling cucumber so I can use it to make pickles. So this is gonna have a variety of cucumbers on it. I can't wait. And like I said, I love to have flowers everywhere. So as you see in the back and back behind me, I have gladiolas that will be springing up. The cool thing is I like to grow what is growing. And as you see, I have tons of mint growing out of the back, but I also like to grow what naturally sometimes grow. And I've been training the blackberry bush for the past 2 years. So this year, it appears as though we are going to get a lot of yummy, juicy blackberries. I cannot wait. I grew up eating blackberries, but the cool thing about this, I guess because it's in my yard, there are no weird chiggers on it that usually bite you. So I'm so thrilled because I ate them as a child. Okay, you guys, this is one of my favorite locations in the garden, mainly because it's where I discovered medicine. This is where I discovered the purple violet flower. So 2 years ago, I was back here and these leaves were growing everywhere. And I'm like, what is this? That's invasive. What is this? And I'm just ripping it up. And immediately the creator froze me in a minute. He's like, don't pull this up. Just shift it around. I did not know the medicinal properties. I just knew the creator told me, do not throw this away, just shift it around. So what I did is created a border around here, creating a planter there of this. This year, I discovered that it's medicine. So now I have an incredible medicine border of wild violet flower growing around here. I've already harvested all of the flowers and the greens will keep growing all year long. I'm able to put these wild violet leaves in my salads. I'm able to put them in my smoothies. I'm able to put them in my pot of yummy kale when I cook it. I'm able to put them in my stews when I cook it. And remember, this plant is great for bringing you joy, but also it's great for your lungs, for your respiratory, for your cardiovascular system. And it is extremely calming. So I am so thrilled to have a medicine border wildflower flower in my garden. Now, inside this bed, what I've done is I have 3 beautiful gladiolas that are going to spring up. They've already started. Can you see right here? Well, they've already started springing up. And then in the beds, as you see here, it was not happy because I have ups and I have downs in my garden. One down is I kept planting my cilantro in full sun and it was not happy and it kept dying. So this year what I did is I transitioned my cilantro to go back here. This right now we're getting full sun. But in the summertime, in the morning time, most of the day, this is shade and it will be shade so much. So I've now planted plenty of cilantro here that will grow up. So it'll be layers. And then I also planted some purple beans that will grow up these trellises that all have purple pods hanging down, but it's another place for me to grow my green beans. I am so thrilled. And guess what, you guys? I discovered one of the favorite things about gardening for me is discovering the things that I don't actually put in here. And that is things like purple dead nettle that I discovered this year that grew in my garden, so now it's harvested. Also, this lettuce, this wild lettuce is medicine, and I will harvest some of it and put it in my apothecary. I have honeysuckles growing back here on these trees. And so this year I am going to look into the medicinal properties. I'm sure there's probably some because there's an abundance. And I don't know if you guys remember when you were a kid, our snack was honeysuckles. Was it yours? So you guys, I am so glad that you joined me today in the garden where I was able to share what's happening in our garden. Oh my gosh, we're just getting started. This is the first phase. I hope your gardens are going great. And inbox me, tell me what's happening in your gardens. I'm so excited for us to grow together. Hey, have an amazing day.
Look at them out.
They everywhere.
Yeah,
They
I'm
literally
so
everywhere. Everywhere. I see so many.
I'm so thankful.
I see so many.
I'm so thankful.
It's
You have no
crazy.
idea. This is Melody's tree.